Hello, viewers. Today, I would like to talk about Diane Yap, and as well as Elon Musk and his salute. I was looking through her tweets and found this. You know, the Nazi salute of Elon Musk, and she says, caption this. And the denial over what that is ridiculous because they all know what it means. I mean, most of us who lived in the 90s, we've all saw the movie. Most of us have saw the movie American History X. It's done in the exact same way. This is a classic Aryan Brotherhood Nazi salute, which was what the movie was about. This is no secret to any of them, to be honest. And I sometimes just feel the need to just state the obvious. She plays coy about a lot of stuff, but I have screenshotted some of her posts. This woman, Diane Yap, if you don't know who she is basically a woman who posts on Twitter. She is a Taiwanese racist, a Taiwanese bigot, a Taiwanese white supremacist. You may think this is something uncommon. No, it is not. Nazi culture is very well known and valorized in Taiwan as well as Japan, and Korea for that matter. Not so much China, in all likelihood, but Hitler considered many Asian groups to be honorary Aryans, so to speak. So, I mean, for Asians to basically have Nazi sentiments, that's no surprise. I would have to say those of us of the black social status, and really anyone who's sort of against this, I think we all saw this coming. You have to be prepared. People deny the obvious when it's so very clear that the man, you know, this is him showing that we the Nazis are taking over. You even had the ADL not talk about what this is, as though they've never watched the movie American History X, as though they are not familiar with Aryan Brotherhood culture in the jails, the prisons, the police forces. Many do not understand that people of the white social status have their own gangs. There is much talk about criminality amongst people of the black social status. But there are very few people who talk about the presence of the Aryan Brotherhood, neo-Nazis and other groups in this country. I mean, basically, he did what is equivalent to a gang sign. Everyone knows what he meant by that. And people are very proud of it as well. Elon Musk is the same person who, you know, if you look here, NBC News says Elon Musk calls on Germany's far-right party to move beyond Nazi guilt. Basically saying, hey, stop feeling guilty for, you know, your Nazi culture. He wants to bring that back. That is exactly why he did the salute. You have Asians all around the world, in different places like Japan. There are stories about people who are dressing in Nazi regalia. They are, they pretend to apologize, but it keeps happening. You keep seeing more Asians doing it, and you say, don't you know this is not something you want to, you want to do it because you keep doing it. You apologize, oh, I'm so sorry, I bow, and you do it again. I mean, it's a very different culture in many Asian countries. But I would have to say it's much the same culture here where people will apologize and not really mean it. They really dressed all out for this. As you can see. I mean, these Japanese girls, they really went all out. I mean, so did the Taiwanese people here. But this is something that they consider. I mean, you have many Asians, even Latinos, any group that you can find that is not overtly brown, copper colored people, anyone who's not overtly brown has some type of Nazi wherever you go, whether it be Asia, whether it be Latin America, any group where there's tawny and cream colored people, where there's vanilla colored people, you will find a Nazi movement. You can find the Nazi movement in Mexico. You can find Nazi movements all over Latin America. Nazism is more than just an ideology, so to speak. Ideologies themselves can be considered, in a very deep fashion, religions, Weltanschauung worldviews, things that you base your whole life upon. The swastika is a sun symbol. It has a very long history. It has to do with the first genocides of the Dacio people by the Persian Aryans when they entered India and conquered the darker Dacio people there. Hitler knew what this meant. He knew its connection to genocide and the destruction of darker hued people. This is a man with dark brown hair, or was it black hair? I think he had black hair, but anyhow, his standard was the light complexion man with blonde hair and blue eyes. But this is it really is a culture. It's not just among Europeans. This is a whole deep religion, having to do with the idea of a people of the sun. The swastika is a sun symbol. And the idea is the light-skinned people, the bright people, the bright-skinned people, so to speak, and the dark people, the children of darkness. I plan to talk more in detail about the racist symbolism of all of this. But yes, Diane Yap was the same person who said, "Dear Mexican Mafia, thank you for your service," about a story about the Mexican Mafia where the Mexican Mafia leader is sentenced for trying to ethnically cleanse blacks from a California city. Okay? And he admitted this. Now, she said, "Thank you for your service," because she thinks that she is among that white social status, those particular white supremacists who are benefiting from this. And yes, even amongst Latinos, there are Blanca and Blanco people. They all have their little classification of white within any of these communities that we may talk about. So, it is worth pondering. I have to say, unfortunately, that I did delete 2 videos about her because I thought, well, I just recover these subjects again later on. Stupid me not realizing that people delete many old incriminating tweets after a while, and it would have been better if I had gotten more screenshots. Now, why did I delete certain videos? Mainly because I felt as though I did not articulate myself well, and being a person who really does not like to sound stupid or to trail off, I mean, that's a big problem for me, is really committing to just, after I see a flaw in my video, just keeping it up. Because you never know when a person may try to clean up their image and the evidence that they have said something really reprehensible is not there. But I did happen to keep this, and I did make another video about her talking about how black people should, get abortions or something of that sort. So I will be keeping an eye on her Twitter page. It seems like she is trying to sort of tamper down a lot of her overt racism, but if I see anything noticeable, noteworthy, I will most certainly do a video about it. These are just commentary videos, so I cannot say that they will be perfect. Oftentimes the problem I have had is trailing off from the subject. Oftentimes to the point where, it's obvious that I'm not really, ready to do the video, and that sometimes I do them and my message isn't necessarily coherent. But I think it's good for someone to at least, talk about this woman and what she presents and what we see in a lot of media, from her, or at least a lot of her social media, so to speak. But anyhow, viewers, I have often talked about Asian Nazis. I've talked about Japanese Nazis. I've talked about Korean Nazis on the channel. I've talked about blackface in Japan. I talk about these subjects sometimes because there are things that many people do not know about. If people can learn, then that is good. So I can't say that I will do the best job of really portraying or essentially providing this information to you, but I hope that basically someone can learn some caution from it. You have to be careful these days about how you talk, who you go around, who you trust, who you put your trust in. You really should be careful. Not that you should be scared, but you should be careful. You really should. Today, you have people outright doing a Nazi salute and daring people to say something, which is what Elon Musk did. He dared people to say something about this. I believe he's, at least one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest man in the world. I'm not sure. He's up there. I know that much. I don't know too much about, how much money he has, but I know apparently even the ADL was scared to say something. The Anti-Defamation League, who are always eager to say something about basketball players who happen to, maybe they are part of Black Hebrew Israelite groups, and the ADL tells them, hey, apologize to the Jewish community. You're being anti-Jewish. And I will not say anti-Semitic, because Semitic is a language group. I have no problem with saying someone is being anti-Ashkenazi or Mizrahi or Sephardic or anti-Jewish, specifically. I have no problem about that. Alright? Many of us people of the black social status are now using the term anti-black. But I'm not going to take a whole language group and a whole, people group of people who speak that language, because we could technically say many people are Semitic. But anyhow, that's a whole nother discussion. We're not going down that rabbit hole. I think it's best just to say what you mean, how you want to say it. So basically, yes. Elon Musk basically got away with that and dared people to say something about it, and some people did. And it was so strange. You had a bunch of weird people, conservative people, who were blatantly denying it. And many of us wonder why some of these people, they go around. They say that a lot of them will talk to people in such a manner as to say, oh, you're talking about your history as a minority? You're a victim. You're talking about your history as a person with a black social status? Why are you acting like a victim? You have the victim mentality. And whenever you catch people red-handed doing something reprehensible, and say, oh, well, that's not what it looks like. That's a Roman salute. Wow. Which has already been disproven. These people cannot show any historical instance of this being some type of Roman salute. They have none. Not showing us any pictures of, no. We know this is a Nazi salute. Everyone knows this is a Nazi salute. That is what it is in popular culture. The man is basically telling Germans to basically not feel guilty for Nazism. He wants them to return to Nazism, and that is so very obvious. But yes, sometimes you see, or rather during that time, we were seeing a lot of conservatives and a lot of these people who are blatantly racist, like Diane Yap, saying something about this and trying to be cute about this whole spectacle. But we know what type of person she is. She wants to sort of clean up her X page, her Twitter page, but it's too late for that. It's too late for that. She's here thanking the Mexican mafia for their service. So I have to keep this in the public because I think she's basically trying to restore her reputation. When she was doing a few interviews, I kind of knew it. I said she does not want to have this big reputation as sort of a major racist for too long. For a long time it seemed like her whole Twitter page was a cesspool, but my goodness did she clean it up. So I did not take that into account. If you saw the video about her talking about how a girl of the black social status should be aborted, and if you saw the video about what was it? About her basically saying that a black family that died in the fire should have got a fire alarm. And she's saying it's comedy gold because another person said they should have got a fire alarm, and she just basically said, oh, that's funny. But yes, from now on I'm going to be screenshotting things because I realize that before I was naive and I thought, oh, she'd just keep those up. I could just go back to these tweets and posts, but now I realize I'm just going to have to screenshot anything I see on her page and inform people about what she basically has to say about people of the black social status in general, and basically record it for posterity so that we can know what type of woman she is, and keep this on record. I just have to, because she's deleting things now. She didn't used to delete things. I used to be able to go down her page and look at all types of crazy stuff, and I thought, this will be around. I don't need to worry about coming back to this. Okay, but I do have some screenshots that I can go back to. I still have some videos that I can look at, so not to mention the fact that I think, she can't go too long without. She's already said racist things on her X, and I may cover some of those things in the future. As I said, I also want to have a deeper discussion about Nazism, because many of you may not realize that is a whole religion. That's a whole religion based upon sun worship and many occult principles that many individuals are unaware of. They do not know the symbolism. They do not understand the symbolism and the religious beliefs of Nazis. Yes, they have religious beliefs. They're not Christian, just like the KKK was not Christian. They go around dressing in wizards' robes, in witches' robes, burning crosses. They were not Christian, but they still went to church and made a play of being Christian. But that's a whole nother thing to talk about. Anyhow, viewers, may you be blessed and farewell.